with River, and what you're about to see is my 5th period class discussing a lot of things. What we're doing is really trying to make them have connections between, we're going to transition from Great Expectations to Romeo and Juliet. So we had a conversation about love, and love really covers a lot of novels in all sorts of ways, especially since the project that they're doing is asking them to analyze a character on like 3 levels. One of the most important ones that we talked about today was like psychology, or what is love, and what is the love between the 2 characters in Great Expectations. Is that really love? And then kind of comparing that and transitioning into Romeo and Juliet. But I feel there's a theme that maybe we can start touching on in the next few days. And it even applies to Great Expectations and its relationships. Specifically, relationships that, not platonic, not brother and sister. We're talking about meeting your soulmate, okay, things like that. I'm going to give you a copy printout of Romeo and Juliet that shows you both the Shakespearean language on one side and the modern language, like how we would understand and read books today on the other. Okay, and so you can see the difference. We're probably not going to be using our textbook because you're going to have packets in class. So that's going to make it easy, reading a lot easier, and probably you'll understand more what's going on. Alrighty. Okay, so the one question I want to ask you, first of all, I want you to tell me what sort of relationship do Pip and Estella have? Does he actually love her? Your opinions?
No.
Yeah.
No, he thinks he does.
Okay. Love is, I didn't even hear what you said.
Well, I just said he thinks that she's pretty, and that's all he really sees in her, is her beauty.
Okay, it's her beauty. Those of you who are doing psychology for Estella, what kind of person is she so far?
Oh, she's pretty on the outside, but she's really evil on the inside.
She's evil. I think she's just been given a bad example.
Yeah.
Okay, so Miss Havisham. Shanae.
Very manipulative.
Manipulative, it's a good word.
I don't think he's in love with her, but Miss Havisham is telling him to be in love with her, so that's probably what he's convinced.
Basically, like Miss Havisham, she's trying to, I guess, take people and like make them match lovers, I guess, because like she taught Estella how to use her
Matchmakers?
Yeah, she taught Estella how to use her feminine looks to get men, and then she's telling Pip, yeah, go get her. She's like, the one you want, and
She tells Estella, like, the first time they meet her to, like, play cards with him, and then Estella says she doesn't want to, and she was like, well, you can break his heart. So she has no intention of, like, them being together. She just wants to, like, hurt Pip. And it says that when that one guy, the pale-faced guy, tells him that she just wants to break guys' hearts.
Yeah.
I think Miss Havisham, she's like, she plays mind games with people. Like with guys, she tells them one thing, and with girls, she tells them another thing to make them against each other.
She wants revenge because she thinks that just because she got hurt, that everybody else doesn't deserve to be happy.
Yeah, and that's one of the topics I'm going to get onto, so hold on to that thought. Basically the same thing.
Amazing.
I don't think it's so much that she wants revenge. I think it's when she was younger, someone really deeply hurt her, and she wants to spare Estella that fate. She wants Estella to feel loved like she never was.
Interesting. Okay, so we have 2 kind of opposing things, because here we have, okay, I want to talk about Miss Havisham's then, her psychology. You're saying that she's trying to keep Estella from any pain, while you're saying that she's doing it out of bitterness, that she doesn't want anyone else to have the happiness that she never had. So
I think Miss Havisham basically is an old, bitter woman who
You were going to say something.
who got hurt earlier in her life and is trying to use all females to get back at the males. Basically.
your question, you were saying why would she adopt her in the first
why would
place?
she like?
I bet if Estella
So you
was
think it's like deliberately adopted her specifically for her own agenda, right? Okay. Okay, so maybe.
It was like he was pushed into it. He wasn't given a choice. Miss Havisham pushed him into thinking that he loved her.
Okay, so what if there was no Miss Havisham interfering, would you have a better argument for it being love?
Yes.
Infatuation didn't have a part.
I don't think there's any such thing as like love at first sight, because that's what it was with them. Because you see the person and you think you're in love with them, but what if after a while you really get to know them? There's no such thing as love.
There's
love at first sight.
It's
I mean, you
lust,
can
not
think,
love.
Yeah.
you can think it, but you have to get to know the person for a while before you actually
Just
know.
tend to sing into
like,
lust at first.
There's a lust and infatuation at first sight, but you can't love someone like without knowing them at least.
Because
Left because even without Mrs. Havisham, he didn't really spend that much time with her. I mean, they were like constantly apart sometimes.
That's a good point. They were constantly apart. And sometimes that makes an infatuation even stronger. If you're apart from someone where you had this, like, where you at least felt something for, and then you have this long period of being gone, you build it up even more. Especially if you're in love with the idea.
Isn't that
A cultural thing, because back then, you kind of married for the occupation, and if you just especially if this is a woman's wife, and if you just happen to fall in love while you're married, you're, hey, yay, good for you. You actually like the guy you were with, you know. Okay, so Romeo and Juliet. First, let me give you the ages that are there. Anyone know how old Juliet is?
isn't she like 14?
Go down.
She's like,
12? She's 13 years old.
Wow, really?
Juliet.
She's a gangster?
that was like so random.
No, see, I know some girl that's like
Because you said, remember when you were describing those like gangs the other day?
Oh, that's not true.
It's not
That's where it
that
came
kind of
from.
gangsters.
Daddy was Tony Soprano. That's what I'm saying, yes. Like, seriously, the two families, the Capulets and the Montagues, you can pretty much think of like Sopranos. You're not given an age for Romeo, but we're thinking maybe he's 16 or so. And doesn't see her much. But within a matter of a few days, Romeo and Juliet get married, okay, fall in love, and then
Die.
Whoa, whoa.
it's like Titanic. It's like Titanic. All right. Hold on. Hold on.
This thing takes place in a matter of days, not months or years.
No.
Did you see like days?
Days.
You didn't know that?
I thought it was like weeks or
In
something.
fact, I didn't know that a long time ago either.
Sure. I think it was days. Sure.
No, I think Titanic was actually a few days. 3 days. Very days.
3 days. Titanic
Ship sank out. Day 2.
Yes. I'll ask someone, hey, so you're still with it? No. They're like, no, like, don't even say his name. I'm like, dude, I
And then
just, like
next
2
day,
days
like-
ago saw you with him. Why are you getting mad at me? Or even like, just, you know. Keep thinking about this theme because it's going to relate a lot, especially to those of you who have Stella and Miss Havisham as your characters, because we have to get what is going on through our minds. We can talk about how silly it is to be infatuated. But come on, guys, and like I was in high school, I would be like, I'll never do it. Oh my God, I don't know. And then like months later, well, you know what? This is different. Okay, so you know that you can talk it and then go through it. So we have to think what goes through the mind that makes all those justifications for it.
He could be the most horrible person to everybody else. He could be mean, bad, all kind of stuff, but I see the good side in him.
No.
You know,
Okay, I have a question on that. You know what? That actually happens though, because I've seen a lot of people like they're with people that are really bad, and you're like, why are you with them? But when they're together, like if it's a girl and a guy, the guy acts totally different than whenever he does because he's trying to impress his friends.
Saying that around the girl he can be himself, but around other people he's back to the same.
Yeah, he's like he looks like a bad person, and all of her friends are like, why are you with him? And they're like, he's bad and he does this and he does that, but around her he's a different
So
person.
does that mean that he loves her?
No.
Not all the time. It
No.
can eventually, but you would think if he actually loves her, he would be able to be himself around his friends and not act like that.
Well, this is like we pretty much accept that infatuations happen and relationships come and go, especially when we're like in our teens and then 20s and stuff like that. Can it be a dangerous thing, and how so?
It can hurt you emotionally because if you really think that person loves you, like you really make yourself believe that, and it can end up hurting you inside.
Yeah, if you make yourself vulnerable enough.
Vulnerable enough. That's an interesting one because Romeo and Juliet, Xavier, why did Romeo and Juliet die?
because of their love for each other.
They're playing.
Okay, but see, but that's that's true.
Because they're in agony because it's not their love.
Couldn't be together because of the agony. So, one tip I would give to all new teachers is really to be yourself, to really teach with your personality, and to really also be reflective of your personality, because you know, sometimes there's things in us we need to fix, especially when you're handling adolescents. They're in a very important time of their lives, and you're growing up, and you really need the support and to know that they're supported. Just to be yourself and know that if you are sweating, you know, but excited at the same time, means that you've worked hard and feel really fulfilled, and that's really how your day should end, with fulfillment rather than a lot of stress. But you'll have stress. It will happen, and you will get bitter at times, but it'll be okay, and that's all.